Okay, welcome back. So this is our second video, and in this video we will be discussing about our project setup. So let's get started with this one. Now, in order to create a React app, we have two options. The first one is Vite and the other one is create React app or CRA. So the CRA method is an older one and that is no longer recommended, and in fact it is not supported anymore. So we will be using Vite in this video series. Up next, we have some tools that are needed to create our app. So the first and the foremost thing is the Node.js and npm. So we need to download and install Node.js on our system, and then npm comes along with Node.js, so that is needed as well. And then we need a code editor, but in this series I will be using VS Code. So it is a lightweight, modern and fast code editor that is used by a lot of developers. So I will be using the same in these videos. And then we can run two commands to check Node and npm versions. So now let's get started with creating a Vite app. And as I discussed earlier, the first thing that we need to do is to make sure that we have Node and npm installed on our website. So in order to get Node.js, you need to go to this website, which is nodejs.org. And from there, you can see we have an option to get Node.js. And by clicking on it, this will provide us with this option of installing Node.js. It will automatically detect your operating system, and then you can click this button and it will install the installer on your system, and from there you can follow the simple steps to install Node.js on your system. And next, if you do not have the code editor already installed on your system, you can go to code.visualstudio.com, and then from there you can download and install this code editor. Now let's discuss how we can create a React app and then get started with it. So if you visit this website, which is the official React site, which is react.dev, from here you can see you have an option of learn React, and then you have this tab of installation. And from here you can see you are presented with three options. The first one is creating a React app using a framework, but we are not doing that right now. The other option is adding React to an existing project, and we are not interested in this one as well. So the only option that is left to us is creating a React app from scratch. But luckily there is an option that can help us, and we do not need to build this collection of different apps in order to have a React app. So you can click this one, which is create a React app, and if you scroll at the bottom, you can see they are giving us some options of these build tools like Vite, Parcel, or RS Build. But in this video series, we will be using Vite. So clicking on this link will land us on vite.dev, the official website for Vite. And from here, we can click this Get Started. And if we scroll a little bit, you can see we have this code to create a new React app with the help of Vite. So now let's open the VS Code. I hope that is already installed on your system, or you have installed it right now. And once it is installed, you can open the VS Code. And here in VS Code, the first thing that we need to check is the Node version. And to do so, we need to go to terminal and then new terminal. And here we can type npm -v and then hit enter. So this is the npm version, and then we can say node-v, and this is the Node version. So as you can see, we are getting the npm and Node versions. So this means npm and nodes are installed on our system. But for some reason, if it throws an error, then you need to make sure that both Node and npm are installed on your system. So as you can see, I have the VS Code open, and I have just opened a folder as well. And now if I go to terminal and then new terminal, and there if I run this code, which was npm create Vite @latest, And then it will ask a bunch of questions to create our project. So it says project name, we can call it 02 project setup. And here we can choose a framework. So obviously we need to select React, and from there we can either choose TypeScript or JavaScript. So in this case, since JavaScript is more beginner friendly, so I'm going with JavaScript. And then roll down Vite, we can say no, and we can say yes. So this will take a few seconds, and then it will install all the required packages. Okay, so as you can see, it has just added a folder which is the name of our project, and inside of which we can see a bunch of files. And also we can see this URL, which is http:// port 5173. So if we copy this and open this in a browser, then you will see our very first React app is up and running. So as you can see, we have this URL opened in our browser, and here we have see this app. So here we got a counter, and then we have logos for Vite and React. So this is our very first React app. But now let's go back to VS Code and let's explore it a little bit. So back in VS Code, you can see we have some of these folders and files, and let's get an overview of these. So right now at the top we have this node module. So these are all the dependencies that were installed by create React app. So these are all the dependencies that were installed by Vite. And then we have a public folder which has just an SVG image. Then we have source folder, which is an important one, and I will get back to this in a minute. And then we have this index.html. So this is the only HTML file in our entire project. And here you can see we have a div. So this one is an important div, and we are injecting our entire app inside of this div. So this div with an ID of root, we will be referencing to this in the HTML, in the JavaScript file. And then we have this package.json file, which is an important one too. So here you can see we have the dependencies, which are mainly React and then React DOM. And then there are some dev dependencies as well. So these are there just to help us during development. And then we have some scripts. So these are important too. So we will be using this dev script to start our server, and these other scripts, they will be used as well. Then we have a configuration file, but right now we are not adding anything to this file. Now let's get back to the source file, and here you can see we have an asset folder. Obviously there will be assets inside of this, but right now we just got a logo, and here we have a CSS file and a JSX file. So JSX is somewhat similar to HTML, but it is a little bit different, and I will be discussing about JSX in our next video. So we also have this index.css, which is the CSS file for our entire app, and then this important main.jsx. And from here you can see we have this app folder, and this has the whole code that we see in the browser. And what we are doing here is that we are creating this app function and then exporting it and then using it inside of this main.jsx file. So that app for file, or you can say app component, is being used inside of this main.jsx file. And if I go back to the app.jsx, and if I remove everything from here, let's remove everything, and let's do a very simple component. So we can say function, and then we can call it app, and from here we can return a div, and inside of this let's return an h1 heading which says hello world. And let's also add a paragraph, and it says first React app. Let's save it, and now let's export this. Export default, so we need to default export this one. And if I save the file and if we go back to the main.jsx, and from here you can see we are also adding the index file, the css file, but right now those are not needed, so we can remove it. And here you can see we are using this app, and what this is doing is that it is getting the root dev that I showed you earlier. So this one, this root dev, so this JSX file is getting that root dev and then rendering this app component inside of it. But now if we go back to our browser, and there you can see the app is updated and we are getting our h1 heading and then this paragraph. So this is how we can create a new React app and then make changes to it. So in the next video, we will be discussing more about this .jsx syntax and that how we can create these components. So these files, they are called components, how we can create components and how we can make use of the JSX and what JSX is. So I think this tutorial was helpful. So I will talk to you soon.